What's up, Hail Stalkers? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for the first time in a while. We've got another 5-star day today. I have worn green a lot, so because this is our third 5-star in a week. So this is the closest thing I have. So Derek's out chasing today because we do have a chance for storms here in Oklahoma City and Oklahoma, even down into the DFW Metroplex yet again. Can we make it 4 for 4? Or nope. 5 for 5 for the DFW Metroplex or giant hail? Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe OKC will even join in on that fun later on today. We also have a chance for very intense winds as well, especially here in OKC, so that may impact me here in our office, but we'll figure out how that goes. And then the severe weather doesn't stop today. We got chances tomorrow and then through the weekend, so we'll kind of break down where are you expecting that coming up here in the next few minutes. So yesterday we had another metric crap ton of storm reports as usual here for our 14th of June. This is halfway, it's crazy, this is mid-June, and we're talking about hail hitting the Waxahachie area, had over 3-inch hail there. The most significant hail of the day was definitely in the Arkansas area. I was mapping this, I got trapped in Arkansas for like, I don't know, like 6 hours. So especially the Hot Springs area had arguably one of the more significant severe hail events that we've had so far this year. Crazy stuff. Again, this is June. Look how much severe weather we had here across the deep south in mid-June. This is very unseasonal. Usually you have stuff like this has happened in Minnesota, the Dakotas, whatever. Not here with 4-inch hail down in deep southern sections of both Alabama and Georgia, where it's already very unusual. I get softball-sized hail in places like Albany, Georgia, but we're getting it in mid-June. Absolutely crazy. Crazy wind and even some tornadoes yesterday as well. Very active severe weather day, and with that we did make a 5-star map here across the Hot Springs, Arkansas area. Finally getting something that wasn't in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's our third one in 4 days. Honestly, we made a few other 3-star maps as well, but this one in particular was really intense, especially in the Hot Springs area. Some of the photos and videos coming out of this were unreal. Look very similar to the Norman storm from 2021. Wind-driven baseball to 4-inch hail. You can check it out in Hot Springs, Malvern, Haskell. Hot Springs was definitely the hot spot for that big-time hail. About 100,000 homes impacted across Arkansas. Again, that main focus here being across Hot Springs, Arkansas, and even the storm extended all the way south to portions of far, like it went all the way to the Mississippi River. It's crazy. These storms went forever. I felt like I was never going to leave Arkansas while I was mapping storms yesterday. So what we have happening right now, well, there's still storms in the southeast. We had some hail and some winds so far this morning. We got a squall line here racing towards Jacksonville right about now. Couple storms south of Jackson, a couple storms off to the southwest of Montgomery. Got a tornado watch in sections of the southern third of Mississippi here. So your thunderstorm watch across the southern third of Alabama. Even a tornado watch over by the Jacksonville area. And then otherwise, here in the main risk zone for today, so Oklahoma and Dallas, you go outside, it is not only hot, it is humid, and there is not a cloud in the sky. It is a powder keg, folks, for some big-time severe weather later on this afternoon. It is hot out there, 89 degrees. I saw in Dallas their dew point's at 79 right now, which is 1 degree away from their all-time record. So that is a intense amount of instability here. We have usually, again, it gets hot like this and humid like this all the time across portions of Texas and here in Oklahoma in June. I mean, if you live here, you know, it gets hot. But what we do have now is some upper level support. So basically you have something to trigger that powder keg we have every single day, and that's what makes today different from everything else. That instability is going to be pretty much maxing out the chart here for this evening in a band, pretty much the corridor from north of Woodward down through Dallas. This will include Oklahoma City, and as you notice, when we do the forecast instability there, oh man, I jumped all the way to Friday. But either way, you saw how it just disappeared in the evening hours. That's because those storms went up, and they're going to feed off of that insane levels of instability. Again, at 7 o'clock this morning in Dallas, they were at 4,200 CAPE. So that's convective available potential energy. That means usually when you get big time severe weather, you want it, if it's over 3,000 right before storms happen, that's going to be really intense for the really big time severe weather. You know, your big tornadoes, your crazy hail. We were at over 4,000 at 7 a.m. So we're going to have the potential here for some really outrageous severe weather later on this evening. Through the rest of this afternoon, though, here in the deep south, we will continue to see those storms. Again, we had some already happening. This is going to keep moving here across southern sections of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, even down towards Jacksonville. Probably wind is going to be that main primary threat for a lot of this. Further west you get, the better the hail chance gets. So places south of Jackson, places south of Montgomery, you could see some hail, possibly even by like 4 or 5 o'clock down along the Gulf Coast, along I-10 there. Could see some pretty big hail. And it looks like another round of storms are going to form late night across Georgia and over to the Jacksonville area. So hail here could be pretty big, but it's not going to be anything like what we're going to see further off to the west here, closer to the I-35 corridor. Storms are going to erupt across the eastern sections of the Texas Panhandle, and they're going to race off to the east here. And then we're also going to see another round of another area of storms isolated right along the Red River down to about I-20. So you're going to have these isolated storms down here by the Dallas area. These could have some really insane hail. And this southern storm, especially the one riding around along I-40, could also have some very insane hail. Anything that stays generally isolated will definitely have that potential for at least baseball-sized hail today. This all moves towards the I-35 corridor by about 8 o'clock. Notice how fast that went. That went from about Clinton to Oklahoma City in less than an hour. So could be a real intense wind risk with this as well. I'll show you that graphic here in a second. Notice by the time we do get to Oklahoma City, there are some concerns of crowding of storms that could minimize hail size a little bit here. But further down the south, your tail and Charlies are going to be across the Metroplex. And I'm sure if you're a homeowner in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, at this point you're like, God, Jesus, put a stop. Just stop. But I don't think it's going to stop. So could see some very intense big-time hail yet again. It could be 5 straight days of giant hail across the Metroplex. Anybody who's complaining about storms not happening in DFW this year after this they can go talk directly to God, I guess, because you're getting plenty now. After we get through this evening, everything winds down by tomorrow morning. It should be okay. So I was talking about that wind. Looking at that future wind gust here. Look at this. This is crazy. This is gonna be potentially. So some of the models are showing. I know this, I guess, maxes out only at 50 over here, but that areas of over 50 that we're showing here when you look on the forecast models that aren't just here on the screen for you guys, normally wind gusts up to 50, that's all you need. This is showing wind gusts potentially up over 100 miles an hour, racing across the Oklahoma City metro over the evening hours, and then possibly anything within like the more intense like rear flank downdrafts or whatnot, the supercells down by Dallas, all possible here this evening and through the late night hours. So it could be very windy as well. Power outages possible, and that if there's any major hail with it, could be very wind driven as well. The hot spring storm yesterday was wind driven hail, and that's why it blew out windows and dented cars to the point where the paint chipped off. It was crazy. So we'll see how things play out here this evening on the I-35 corridor. So what's that hail forecast for you today? Let's see here. We got 2 different areas we're focusing on. This is the main highlighted area. The real intense zone here is going to be along western sections of Oklahoma. This 2.5 plus, I'm saying softball size hail is not likely. I'd say it's almost a definite that's going to happen somewhere today between probably Guyman and down through about maybe the Waxahachie area. Somewhere in there we'll see softball say, whether it's Wichita Falls, whether it's Woodward, Oklahoma City, whatever it is. I think the most likely zone is going to be those high regions like Woodward and Wichita Falls, maybe Elk City, Lawton, places like that. Oklahoma City, you're at a moderate just because there is a little bit of concern that storms will become more linear and be more of a wind threat by the time we get to the metro. But there's a big but with this. If I'm wrong and they stay isolated, there will be softballs. So there's a big swing potential here, but I think the more likely option is kind of splitting the difference a little bit here and get that moderate size hail, that golf ball to 2-inch zone generally for the metro here in Oklahoma City. Dallas, different story. It looks like we're going to, as this has been progressing through the morning, the models are favoring isolated supercells more and more and more and more, where this moderate, maybe a high by the time I actually get off of here and look again. We could see, again, you guys have dealt with this for 4 straight days. Potentially 3-inch bigger hail. Could be higher volumes of it this time. I know we've had the storm yesterday was more isolated with its hail just in general as the storm developing pretty much over the metro, and that made the coverage of hail lower. That's why it wasn't a 5-star map, but we could see much higher coverage of storms this evening here across the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. Storms might make it as far south as Waco. I'm keeping that pretty low here. Might make it as far east as, or more likely make it as far east as Shreveport. Moderate chance there. Low chances for hail in Tulsa. I think you're a wind risk. Same deal for Little Rock. Further to the east here, I think some of these options, at, especially down here south, that's your best chance seeing up to golf ball size hail from Mobile, Montgomery. Jacksonville it would be later because we're getting some storms right now, maybe this late night tonight. And everything up here to the north, that is going to be late tonight since we've already had some storms this morning. The atmosphere needs to recover here in the deep south. So city forecast breaking down Oklahoma City specifically. This is going to be a fast-moving event here, guys. So starting as early as 7 p.m., maybe even a little earlier if some of the models were underestimating the speed of these guys. But generally 7 to 10 p.m. Hail size, again, I'm kind of splitting the difference, saying about 2 inches. Is it possible that there could be bigger hail? Yes. Is it high enough of a chance to put that bigger max hail size on here? I don't think so. We might do an update if it's starting to look more likely that things stay isolated as they pull into the Metroplex. We may just update this graphic really fast, post it to our stories. Moderate chance overall for hail, and then right now I'm seeing a lower chance. I'm definitely leaning more towards more linear by the time we get to Oklahoma City. And that can change. But if there is a change, we'll make sure to give an update for you guys. Just keep an eye on the Instagram and Facebook stories with that. DFW here, timeline generally around the same basic time, 8 to 12 a.m. Max hail size, maxes out at baseballs, but really it's going to be bigger than that. Very likely, again, we had storms go up yesterday and still drop 3-inch hail. So it's going to take almost nothing to get to basically a minimum of baseball size of hail and get much larger than that. We got real close to the record, I think, on Monday night in Mansfield. We might get close to that again today if storms stay isolated and hit the metro. Moderate chance overall, and the equal chances, again, if there's going to be a storm, it will likely have at least golf ball size hail. So wind forecast for today, that's another major story here for everybody. Again, these storms are going to become very wind driven once things really start cooking here this evening. The most significant zone is going to be that I-35 corridor, mostly the Oklahoma City area, so pretty much from just south of Dodge City all the way down to south of the Red River, a high chance that you're going to see at least 60-mile-an-hour winds, possibly as high as that 90 to 100-mile-per-hour zone in that hatched zone here. It could extend far south into Denton and portions of Collin County as well, but I'm really thinking the wind, might end up being the big story here in Oklahoma City this time tomorrow. So really kind of hammering home that, again, gusts possibly up to 100 miles an hour here in any of the storms, especially if it turns into a very fast-moving bow echo signature. Moderate chances across the board here south of I-20, so Montgomery, Jackson, Mobile, Jacksonville, gusty winds with that, anything up to 60, 65. Low chances, areas further north like Atlanta and Columbia, Birmingham, Savannah, those regions could see maybe some isolated severe wind, but overall, more likely you're going to have heavy rain and maybe some isolated quarter-size hail with that updraft initially going up there. So where's your trash can going to be out here in Oklahoma? If you get across the board, probably go to the neighbor's yard. I'm realizing my garbage got taken out today, and it's sitting at the end of my driveway, and I'm not going home. So hopefully my neighbors are nice and bring it back to me if it actually is windy this evening, because it might end up down the street with the really crazy stuff. So overall, midday, storms are going to initiate off to the west in western Oklahoma. By this afternoon, after about 4 o'clock or so, you're going to see those storms in far western Oklahoma. Could be some severe gusts, and things will get really cooking this evening after about 7 o'clock as they move towards Oklahoma City here, where your trash cans, could be some zones where those trash cans are down the street and you're not going to find them again, or you get a new But in exchange, you get a new trampoline in your backyard, you know. So that's what we're kind of expecting for this evening. Tornado forecast, there is a tornado risk today as well. Very likely, if it's in Oklahoma City, it's going to be those QLCS type tornadoes. So they got that moderate chance there. Nothing, I don't think anything violent or anything like that. I think it's going to be, you know, those little quick spin-up tornadoes go and they move quickly and then come down. It's going to be a lot of wall-to-wall coverage here in Oklahoma City. Watch KOCO. Derek will be out chasing there today. Better chance for isolated, better-looking tornadoes here in western Oklahoma, northwestern Oklahoma, especially high chance there in Woodward. Moderate Dodge City, moderate down Wichita Falls, where just coverage is going to be a little less. And I think they're going to be really focusing more on hailers here across sections of like Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, Shreveport, etc. Further off to the east, it doesn't go further east, so that's okay. Tornado chances are very low as well down there in the southeast. Maybe a moderate chance down by Mobile, maybe even a water spout or two. So there we go. Most at-risk cities here. Can you tell I've been working nonstop since Sunday? We have Woodward and Lawn, best chances overall. Again, those storms, when they initially form, they could get enough spin in them, enough shear in the atmosphere to squeeze out a tornado or two. Norman and Oklahoma City, that moderate chance, again, those QLCS type tornadoes. It's not going to be those big, scary ones like more, but the spin-up ones that might be right along the line. You're like, man, that wind gust was crazy, and turned out to be a little tornado. Wichita Falls, isolated storms, but I think just storm coverage is going to be a little less further south. In DFW, I think the big chance is going to be hail today and not so much that tornado chance. So what we got for tomorrow? Well, things do start to calm down. Tomorrow looks like relatively a much quieter day than we've seen since Sunday. Sunday was crazy, Monday was crazy, Tuesday was crazy, yesterday was crazy. Today is Thursday. I have to keep telling myself that because I can't remember what day of the week it is. But we do have a chance for some storms in the evening here across central Alabama. Some isolated storms by about 5 o'clock central time, right around that dinner time hour. Continue streaming off to the south and east through the overnight hours. Could be a late night for whichever one's on call next. Everybody's been pulling all-nighters here, so it's kind of splitting the difference at this point. Could be some chances of storms all the way leading up to Saturday morning there in the deep south. Further off to the west, we could see some sneaky storms possibly coming off the I-25 corridor. I think very likely the majority of that's going to be east of I-25 here in Colorado. Denver's the other city that seems to be getting hail every day. This will continue through the evening across Kansas. But notice Oklahoma and Texas look pretty quiet tomorrow, knock on wood. Knock on the green screen. So I think overall tomorrow will be a much quieter day. Storms off in eastern Colorado, maybe some cool land spouts, some little spin-up tornadoes, and possibly into Kansas as well. So what does that make for that hail forecast for tomorrow? Could be some up to golf ball size hail with those isolated storms that form in the evening hours across sections of the southeast. Here across Dodge City, that moderate chance could see some quarter-size hail. Looks like that best chance will be when storms first form in the evening hours. Here up to that golf ball size in middle of nowhere sections of the high plains. Low chances of Wichita Falls. Again, the models weren't even showing anything there, at least on that most recent run. Further to the southeast, again, moderate chances for storms, especially here in Alabama and sections of Mississippi through the evening hours and even into the overnight. And then finally up off, we do actually have a chance in the mid-Atlantic states. Could be a couple sneaky little storms here going from about Philly down to just north of Raleigh here in the sections of the mid-Atlantic states. So nothing too crazy with this, probably just a couple storms here or there. So looking beyond just Friday, we do have another chance for severe weather. I know this is a low-res future precip, but Oklahoma could see another big severe weather day on Saturday. So this is going to keep going, you know. So by 10 o'clock, this is just showing that we had supercells in the area, and they move across, and by midday on Sunday, that risk does end up shifting off to the east. So overall, we're going to have 2 areas we're going to highlight for this weekend. So we're going to go 7 straight days here of pretty intense severe weather, guys. So Saturday, the main area you got to focus on is the state of Oklahoma. Texas is in the risk again. DFW looks like we got a severe thunderstorm warning just issued. Wichita could see some storms. Arkansas, and this extends into the evening and overnight hours down into the deep south as well. Kind of rinse and repeat. We're Groundhog Day in this, guys. So by Sunday, everything shifts a little bit to the east. I think we finally get a break here in Oklahoma and Texas, especially in Texas by Sunday. We'll have be 1 week since that first storm. and I think we'll finally be off to these places like Nashville, Memphis, Jackson, Birmingham, Mobile, all that are at risk on Sunday, starting in the morning for places like in Arkansas and parts of Mississippi and extending throughout the day. So probably another busy weekend here. We'll keep you guys in the know, as always. You can check us out if you're new at Hail Trace. You can do that QR code. There's a link in the description below if you don't want to phone on a phone or whatever. Follow us on our social media platforms. Again, we may update the city forecast, especially for Oklahoma City. That'll be on our Facebook and Instagram stories, so make sure you check that out. Follow our Twitter page, YouTube, TikTok, all that fun stuff. I'd say we go live on TikTok. I tried to do it on Monday when we were chasing, but Verizon sucks. So we try. But either way, we'll be going live. I think we'll go live on TikTok if we do live storm coverage. We'll go live on Facebook and everywhere else you're watching right now. We'll do some live coverage for storms this evening. They're not going to happen at 2 in the morning, so we can actually do some coverage. If you don't want to do that QR code thing, you want to reach out to us, our phone number is right there, 855-334-4245, info@hailtrace.com. Hailtrace.com on our website. I don't need to tell you, it's been busy as hell. So, busy as hail, there we go. So, we're here, we're answering any questions you may have. We're more than happy to walk you through, get you going, or help you continue on the way and just even organize everything. There's been enough storms now in Dallas that it's less, did it hail, but more which storm was it. It's really important for that data loss to make sure you get it correct. So, bring back the ladies. There are good luck for hailers. Oh, it's a 5-star day. I haven't done this in a while. Don't worry, the ladies will be back for the live coverage later, I promise you. So, yeah, Peyton will be on TikTok later, and I think Andrea will be back here for live coverage this evening. So make sure you stay tuned, get your notifications turned on, get everything ready to go. Got some storms later. We'll see you then.